Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Port Charles 411, Part 8 of Lucky and Liz, Part 11 of Lucky. Okay. How many episodes do you think we're going to wind up going?
I have no idea, but it's okay.
Lucky and Liz, and then Lucky. Lucky and Liz. So here's the thing. We're going to have to take a little bit of a break with the Lucky and Liz because, no, I guess every time he came back there, no, you guys will know what we're talking about. But I think that this specific time of Lucky and Liz, this era, I guess, I'm going to say 15.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably right.
Lucky himself.
See, I don't feel like he's going to be that much more, do you?
We're going to get into, because he had his drug thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then, And then we have his drug addiction and his brainwashed by Helena.
Yeah. All right.
But I think maybe each of those might wind up being one each.
Okay.
We shall see.
It is what it is.
Listen, we'll take a little break if we have to do something like we did. We threw in Rick and we threw in Ricky Martin. Oh, Miguel. Sorry. Last week we left off where Liz was declaring that she is going to heal from this. She is not going to let something that happened when she was 15 define the rest of her life and keep her from living. It's going to always define her life, but it's not going to prevent her from...
Right. It doesn't need to hold her back.
Yeah. So at General Hospital, why did we just switch to Lizzie?
It does that back and forth.
Liz and Lucky show up and Liz thanks Graham once again for coming to her therapy session with her. Lucky says she has his vote for Grandma of the Year. Audrey asks why Lucky and Liz exchange a guilty look. They try and fake it. He's not at all convincing. When they walk away, he mutters to Bobby that he's a jerk and that he blew it. Bobby asks how he found out, and Lucky tells her about overhearing Sarah and Liz's conversation. Bobby and Lucky then have a familiar argument over his resentment towards his parents. What are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
He overheard Sarah and Liz's conversation. Maybe Sarah and Liz were arguing over if Audrey was Grandmother of the Year, and maybe one was saying yes and one was saying no, and he was tossing in his vote of, well, I'm on yes.
Yeah, I don't know what they would be arguing about.
I don't know either. All right. In therapy, Liz is being given pretty mild advice from Gail. Things like, don't think of your feelings as poison. Think of them as a stain.
Okay.
Lizzie's not buying it. Audrey is squirming in her chair. Audrey apologizes for being a distraction. Liz presses her to participate. Gail turns her attention towards Audrey, asking her to share. Audrey admits that she's thrown that Lucky knows about her rape. Oh, maybe that was it. Maybe he was basically saying because Audrey was going to the therapy with her. Oh, she's probably thrown that Lucky knows about Audrey's rape.
Right.
And that would be something that he would have overheard Sarah and Liz talking about. And yes. Liz had not offered up that information. Okay, got it. I think we just pieced that together. She states that she was sure that Lucky will be discreet. It just shocked her. But go on, she presses. Liz nearly has to beg Audrey to open up, but when she tells Audrey not to censor her feelings, Audrey breaks down, angry at herself for not being more emotionally available to Liz and for making her feel ashamed, since that's how she felt. She's not sure she can forgive herself. Audrey cries and Liz comes over and hugs her. Liz makes a very sweet speech to Audrey about everything that she's done for her. She lets Audrey know that she now realizes that she had her own pain and she was too focused on her own stuff to see it before. Audrey tells Liz that she is much stronger than her. Liz denies it, and Audrey reflects that the feelings she has from the rape are still there and they still hurt. At Kelly's, Liz is gushing to Lucky about Audrey calling her strong. Lucky points out that he's been saying that for months. They argue about who is stronger, who is a better friend, and who is more important to the other. Lucky tries to convince her that she is just as good of a friend to him as he is to her. Liz states that all she knows about being a friend is what she has learned from him. Lucky looks downright touched and smiles ever so slightly. Okay, Curly Q Girl has a crush on Lucky too.
Oh, she does. She
Because
does.
these descriptors are not found. The number and the level of,
Right.
I don't remember finding in many of
Nope.
these.
Nope.
Okay. So then they go to a no-name restaurant. Lucky and Liz walk into an elegant restaurant, having arrived by limo. They're all dressed up. Liz is in a long gray dress with spaghetti straps. Lucky in a black shirt and pants with a royal blue blazer. The maitre d' is expecting them, and he addresses Lucky as Mr. Spencer, and he leads them to their table. He tells them that the dinner is courtesy of Jason, and that Jason's orders were to make sure they eat a lot. Liz is thrilled that Jason is treating them. Lucky says Jason is a good man to work for. See, and this is just the funny part, is seeing them now where they're more peers, but definitely at this time Jason was an adult.
Yep.
And they were kids, and he was Lucky's employer. Liz wonders why the restaurant is called No Name. Lucky tells her it's to discourage unwanted customers. She realizes that it must have mob connections. Lucky thought they would have more fun if they went somewhere no one knew them. Liz raises a toast to fun, and they clink their empty glasses. They can't seem to keep their eyes off of each other. The maitre d' asks to take their picture, and Liz agrees. This means they had a camera.
Yep. Not a phone.
Do you think they had a fun saver?
Maybe.
So this is
I
like
don't know.
one of her 24 pictures?
Right?
Well, even with a camera, you still only had.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. First, they keep their chairs where they are and lean in towards the center of the table, but the maitre d' keeps telling them to move closer. They finally move their chairs closer and closer until they are side by side. They lean into each other, both smiling nervously. They smile for the camera, then laugh nervously and move apart a bit and look at each other. They are now eating, and Liz is talking about what she wants to do with her life. She wants to be an artist. She wants to paint oil portraits that have people hang over their fireplaces. Lucky is surprised. He thought she would be more into the wilder stuff. She wants to do that kind of art too, but she likes to paint portraits because they become part of a family, and that would make her happy. It's a really cool way of thinking about that. Now it's Lucky's turn. His dream, music, specifically writing songs. Liz is convinced that he would be successful at it. The song he wrote for her is one of the best she's ever heard. Lucky thinks she's biased, but she admits that the song makes her feel special, as if someone looked into the real Elizabeth. Lucky says that he did. She smiles as he remembers when he wrote the song. They were sitting in the boxcar. It was sundown. She was painting another picture for his TV. She brushed her hair out of her eyes, and a melody came to him. She looked like an angel, just the way she looks tonight. Taking in Lucky's words, she nervously fidgets with her hair, saying that it turned out all wrong tonight. Lucky interrupts her, quietly telling her she looks beautiful. She is beautiful. Oh,
And again, this is why we're so disappointed with men in real life.
that. All right, my husband needs to start. No, okay, say though. My husband is good at a lot of this. Maybe that's why I'm like so ridiculously giddy. He's not as romantic, but he'll say cute stuff.
That's nice.
Liz finally accepts the compliments and admits that when she was chasing him around when they first met, her fantasy was that he would ask her out and take her to a fancy restaurant. And here they are. Lucky looks at her longingly, then asks her to dance. My husband does not dance. They walk to the dance floor hand in hand and stand there a minute. Before Liz takes his hand, they stand there a minute before Liz takes his hand, and they start slowly dancing. Next song, they're dancing closer together, heads on each other's shoulders, her hand on his chest. In Lucky's eyes, it's evident that he is overcome by his feelings for Liz. Liz is holding on to him tight, her eyes closing slightly. She looks calm, relaxed, and safe in his embrace. They are holding hands near his shoulder, his arms around her waist. His arm moves down her shoulder and to her back. Liz decides to pull back from his embrace, and they are face to face, their lips centimeters apart. She moves her hand towards his shoulder as if she was about to reach for his face and kiss him. It's too much for Lucky. He pulls away, his breathing labored. Just then, the song ends. Liz asks him what's wrong, and he smiles and admits that he needs to get the limo back to Jason. Liz thanks him for taking her to dinner. She had a lovely time. They head towards the table where Liz picks up her purse while Lucky catches his breath and takes the red rose from the vase at their table. Another souvenir, she says, as Lucky smiles, and they leave hand in hand. Why do I feel like she has that flower still? She pressed that and she put it behind glass, and she has that still. And it is part of the picture frame that has that picture in it.
Yep. So Lucky goes to see Tammy the hooker. She tells him he's a little too young for her services, but he flashes $100 bill to get into her room. Tammy tells Lucky that he's young and a minor. Lucky tells her he'll go to someone else then. She relents and asks him what he expects. He tells her he's a virgin. She tells him he reminds her of someone she knows, a local club owner. She realizes he's Luke's kid. Lucky starts to think his dad is one of her clients, but she assures him that he's not. That'd be a little awkward. Back to business, Tammy asks him if there's another girl involved that will be testing Lucky later, and he tells her that he does have a girlfriend of sorts. He tells her that he wants to get rid of his sexual feelings with Tammy to avoid hurting Liz. As he tells her about Liz, this is a very sweet scene. Yeah, Curly Q absolutely has a crush on him. Tammy's heart is just melting. He leans over to kiss Tammy, but then backs off and tells her that he doesn't want to get rid of it, that he wants to keep it. She is so touched by his caring for this young woman that she tells him not to ask for her car keys or life savings. Tammy gives him back his $100, which he leaves on her table. Lizzie asks Lucky how his appointment went, and he says it didn't. He invites her to the carnival, and they leave. Like, at least there's an awkward moment when Liz sees Emily sitting at a table because they had a confrontation at the nurse's ball. I don't remember.
Probably something to do with Lucky and Liz. Or
Probably.
Oh yeah, they did. Remember, it was something to do with Lucky and Nikolas.
Okay. So Liz,
it was because Emily was starting to date Nikolas.
Maybe.
There was something. We talked about it. I forget now though.
Okay. So Liz jokes with her while trying to take her order and putting arsenic in her drink, not in a mean-spirited way, but to break the ice between them. They declare a truce. Lucky comes over and joins the truce. The group is chummy. Then Nikolas shows up and Lucky turns cool. Nik tells Lucky how much Lulu misses him, and Lucky doesn't appreciate hearing this from Nik. They go their separate ways. I mean, Nikolas should have known that wasn't going to go over well. Don't tell me about my baby sister. Thanks.
I don't feel like Nikolas was, if I remember correctly, I really don't think Nikolas was saying it in a mean way. It was more of a, hey, can you please forgive our mom way? Like, it's fine if you want to hate Luke, but can you please be here for Mom and Lulu?
All right, Curly Q gives you a breakdown for you to like sit down and get prepared, because it says, next for all us Lucky and Lizaholics, this was the day. After faithfully following every heartbeat of the developing relationship between these two, we got the big payoff. Liz leads Lucky by the hand in the dark towards the boxcar. His eyes are shut and he playfully protests. She just wants him to fall down and break something, doesn't she? Liz tells him that they have to do it this way. It's a surprise for him, and if he opens his eyes, he'll see it. Lucky, who is clearly loving every minute of this, grumbles that he'll see it eventually anyway, but Liz tells him that she wants it all to be the way she wants it. After she checks to see that everything is perfect, she tells him to give her his hand, and she helps him up into the boxcar. I won't let you fall, she reassures him, hoisting him up. As he stands beside her, eyes shut, waiting, Liz takes a split second just to look at him and then takes a little breath, half closing her eyes as if she's breathing him in. She tells him to open his eyes. She has placed votive candles all around, and the boxcar is lit with a warm, soft glow. Lucky is speechless as Liz holds out an acoustic guitar, offering it to him. The guitar is polished and gleaming and decorated with different stickers with 1960 motif, including a peace sign and the yin-yang symbol. Lucky's face is a mixture of shock and delight, while Liz is flushed with success. His reaction is just what she hoped. Or, mine? He asks incredulously, as in, I don't have to borrow my cousin Sly's guitar anymore? Yours, she replies with a smile. Lucky can't believe how cool she is to buy him a guitar, and Liz explains that it used to belong to her Uncle Tom, who left it behind when he went to Africa. She describes how she got it restrung for him and how she put the stickers on because it looked so plain. They sit across from each other on boxes as he strums a few chords and checks out the stickers. Me, with 24 hours a day access to a guitar, he muses, then smiles. This is the greatest present anyone's ever given me. Liz is bursting with pride that her gift has gone over so well. Has he always played an instrument? She asks. Lucky tells her that music was always just really important to him. Because of a teacher or someone like that, Liz guesses. Because of my dad, Lucky replies evenly, and Liz is embarrassed to have led him to a thought about his father. It's okay for Lucky, though. He will give credit where it's due, and his father has the greatest taste in music with enough CDs and records to start a radio station. Lucky remembers how his father taught him about music the way one learns about the alphabet, with a different style of music and a different artist every night. Just two guys bonding over the blues, Liz says softly, and Lucky wistfully tells her that that's what Luke's Place was supposed to be all about. It wasn't always a place famous for car bombings and shootings. It was once a place for great music, and B.B. King even played there on opening night. Back then, there wasn't any place as cool as Luke's, Lucky says quietly, and no one else was half as cool as the man. Liz looks at him with tenderness. She's sorry she brought it up because those old days seem so far away now. Lucky looks straight in her eyes. I never thought I would feel as close to another person as I did to him. Then you happened. Liz lets this wash over her as if everyone could see Shannon smile right now. Sorry.
I didn't even realize I was doing it.
It's so cute. Liz lets this wash over her as Lucky begins to play a melody. Then she asks him, what if someone has a request? Lucky smiles sweetly. If it were you, I think she could ask for just about anything right now. Liz asks him to play the song he wrote for her, and Lucky tenses a little. She has the tape she can play anytime, but Liz persists. She doesn't have the tape right now. She only has him, and besides, he has always said he could do it better. She doesn't believe that's possible, but here's his chance to try. Remind me to learn how to win an argument with you, Lucky says, half pleased and half nervous at her request. He bends his head over the guitar and begins strumming the opening chords of Elizabeth.
And we're going to listen to it. Oh, yeah.
Are you going to sing it?
Oh, no. We're going to watch it. Yes. Hold on one second.
So if you have the tape, you can hear it whenever you want.
I know, but I don't have the tape now. I only have you. And besides, you said you didn't like the way it came out, that you could do better. Of course, I think the tape is perfect, so I might be hard to convince, but here's your chance. Please, just this one time.
Remind me to learn how to win an argument with you. As you kneel beside your bed tonight, keep a little prayer for me in sight. Know that I will be there when you come. Know that I will catch you where you might fall. Elizabeth, go to sleep. I wanna watch you breathe. I wanna feel God's peace. Yes, listen.
I really need to like screenshot a picture of your face because it's so cute.
That was great.
I knew that was all you needed to see.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth looks a little dazed as she tries to respond. That was thank you. Lucky is still looking at her, and the intensity between them shimmers. I don't want you to go, he murmurs, but I don't want you to get in trouble either. I hope you don't freeze tonight. Liz replies ruefully. Lucky just smiles, looking at her with what can really only be described as love. You know, he tells her, marveling a little bit at his own insight. Everything about you is the best there is. His words hang in the air, and then he gets up to go, carefully placing the guitar on the floor. He jumps to the ground and turns as Liz struggles a little to get down. Help me, she says, laughing lightly as she jumps down and then stumbles into his arms. Their faces are inches away as they have been so many times, but this time, as easily as taking a calm breath, they move together and their lips touch. Liz looks up at Lucky and gives a barely perceptible signal with a flick of her eyelashes. She wants to do this. Their lips meet again and move softly together. Lucky's lips caress Liz's bottom lip and then upper lip and then back. They move slightly away and Liz's lips curve into a little smile, while with his face still close to hers, Lucky breaks into a smile that both reassures her and expresses his obvious delight. They turn and walk off, hand in hand. It was the perfect first kiss for them, tender yet sensuous and absolutely true to the development of their relationship.
Yeah, she's a fan.
She definitely is. I mean, who wasn't back then? If you're in that right age range.
Yeah. So then Lucky and Liz get playful outside of Ruby's. And I might add, it's awful cute to see. Laura meets up with Lucky and finds out about Lucky's new school year. She tries to convince him to come home. Lucky assures her that he's making out all right on the streets. He has a place to eat, sleep, wash, and is going to school without anyone yelling at him to do so. He also doesn't blame anyone anymore and is finally convinced that he is not like his father. Then Emily is modeling for a wedding shoot. She's sad as it's the day of Brenda's funeral. Emily receives a phony nude of her. It's her face from the wedding shoot with somebody else's nude body. Jason comes by the boxcar to tell Lucky that he has retired from the business. He gives Lucky a large bonus. After all, he could have been hurt as one of the cars he took care of just blew up. It killed Ronaldo. Liz gets a bit snarky at the thought of Lucky still being in danger because of Jason. Jason assures her that Lucky isn't at risk for having detailed cars for Jason. Before he leaves, she apologizes to Jason for being rude. He tells her it's okay. His girlfriend acts the same when she feels he's in danger, and he thinks it's sweet. And that's Robin.
Yep.
Emily asks Nik to borrow money. She wants to pay off the blackmailer. He whips out his wallet, saying, sure, till she tells him she needs $20,000. How much money did he think a blackmailer was going to be asking for? It wasn't going to be a 20.
But maybe she didn't explain the blackmail. Maybe she was just like, hey, Shan, can I borrow some money? You're like, yeah, let me get my purse. And then,
Okay.
I need 20,000.
Oh, here, next sentence. Finally, she spills it out, being blackmailed. She refuses to go to the police. She's too embarrassed. Liz and Lucky snuggle under blankets in front of the radiator Liz painted. She has lit a candle to give it a realistic warm glow. They fall asleep, and she's freaked out when she wakes up in the AM and realizes she spent the night and never called home. Haggard shows up looking for her, tells her Audrey wants her home and that they are both trespassing. The railroad is going to lock up the boxcar and Lucky will have to move on. After Taggart leaves, Lucky tells Liz that this has been the best summer of his life. Nik and Emily go to see Tom the photographer, and she tells him she is researching the business for a report. Em realizes how many people have had access to her picture and negatives, and she wants to pay the money. Nik refuses, saying he will start researching on the internet.
The internet? What?
Liz sheepishly goes home, gets blasted by Audrey, who is worried. Liz sincerely apologizes for worrying her. Audrey asks if Liz has been intimate with Lucky, and Liz truthfully tells her she is not ready for that. Nikolas and Emily ask Lucky for help to prove who is blackmailing her. Lucky puts aside his feelings for Nikolas to help her. When Lucky and Nikolas try to figure out who fixed the picture, Emily and Liz become friends. Nikolas and Lucky find the nude picture that had Emily's face superimposed on it, and they track down who did it. They decide there's nothing more they can do tonight, and Emily and Nikolas go home. Liz and Lucky are stargazing on the lawn, and their feelings start to show. Liz let it slip that her number one hobby is to watch Lucky, and Lucky tells her he loves her mouth, and as he's about to kiss her, Grandma Audrey pulls in the yard. Suddenly, the romantic stargazing for two turns into milk and cookies and a movie for three. As Emily thanks Nikolas for helping her with everyone, but Nikolas sees the crush she has on him, he kisses her brotherly on the head and says goodnight. I hope there was a little pat there too,
That's the worst.
The next day, outside of Kelly's, Lucky and Nik are using the laptop. Lucky has hacked into police files and found a similar picture of Maggie to send to the one sent to Emily. The same nude body is superimposed over Maggie's. Emily remembers that she works for the Platinum Triangle Modeling Agency. Payroll records show that she never worked for them. Nik and Lucky continue to verbally spar. They are very funny. Laura comes upon them and is amazed and pleased to see them working together and being civil. The look on her face is priceless in pleasure and surprise. She goes over to say hi to them. Lucky is rude while Nik is inviting. Laura decides not to stay considering Lucky's attitude towards her and goes inside. Nik tries to shame Lucky for hurting Laura. Meanwhile, Laura asks Liz about Nik and Lucky. Lucky arrives for his first day of work at Jason's bike shop, and Mike told Mike and Jason he wants to computerize the shop. Jason offered Lucky a spare room above the garage, and Lucky accepted. Lucky is happy with his new job, his own place to live, and Liz is in his life, and perhaps even working with Nik on the investigation. Lucky tells Liz, "You make me feel like I'm finally living up to my name." Lucky, that he's lucky. Lucky shows Liz his new place, and when she first sees the condition of it, she is less than enthused. She uncovers a brass bed and offers to help him strip the wallpaper, clean the walls, and paint different murals on each wall. There are moments of closeness, and he kisses her softly. Nik arrives at Lucky's, and the look on his face as he arrives is pretty funny, though he is careful not to say anything derogatory about the place to the proud Lucky. Oh, so he's probably thinking like, oh my gosh, what are you doing living here?
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a prince. Where has he ever lived that looks anything close to that?
Right. The lead on Maggie requires a trip to New York, which Nik offers to finance. Lucky objects, but then agrees to it, but he insists on paying in full for himself and Liz. Then they're in Manhattan at the modeling agency, not on location. And that means like the filming wasn't on location, not that they weren't pretending to be in Manhattan. Nik pretends to have an interest in modeling and distracts the receptionist long enough for Lucky and Liz to sneak in and grab the model's file. They track her down at work at a restaurant, but she isn't of any help. Back home, the gang goes to Spoon Island to use Stefan's more powerful computer and to continue their investigation. Lucky and Nik actually share a laugh. Lucky is curious why Stefan has such a powerful system. Nik jokingly retorts it's because the Cassadines get an urge to take over the world every so often. The gang decides to try to get some dirt on the blackmailer by hacking into Downtown Faces. I guess that's the name of the modeling agency. Lucky is to take $5,000 to the drop spot to try and appease the blackmailer temporarily to give them more time. Liz and Emily are having a sleepover, and Emily does Liz's makeup for her. They talk about how Nikolas and Lucky didn't get along. Then they get into a conversation about Liz and Lucky sharing deep secrets with each other. Liz makes Emily promise she won't spill what she's about to tell her, and Liz gets up and goes to get something. She pulls out the tape of Lucky singing. Emily is in happy shock. Emily then talks about her dreams, about finding her prince, and then it just says in parentheses, we all know she's talking about Nikolas.
Yep.
Liz shares her story of her first real kiss with Lucky. Meanwhile, Lucky is on a stakeout down at the docks. Nik shows up with 2 cups of coffee and joins him, much to Lucky's objections. And it just says, again, these two are funny together. Great to see some humor. They keep hidden behind some crates on the docks, waiting for the blackmailer. Alexis arrives on the docks, waiting for the boat. Helena talks with her. Lucky and Nikolas look on. Helena comments on how Luke and Alexis tried to kill her that night on the parapet. Nikolas and Lucky think Helena is lying. Helena tells Alexis to get the net worth on Nikolas's estate and give it to her. Nikolas is about to jump out from a hiding spot in rage, but Lucky stops him. Helena then mentions a plan against Laura. This causes both Lucky and Nikolas to jump from their spot and head down to where Alexis and Helena are standing. Lucky demands to know what Helena meant, and Nikolas makes Helena apologize to Alexis. Helena tries to get out of what she said about a plan against Laura, but nobody buys it. After Helena leaves, Nik and Lucky ask if and when Alexis finds out something about a possible plan that they want to be notified. She tells them she is sure Helena is bluffing. Fortunately, Lucky and Nik don't buy it. Alexis thanks Lucky and Nikolas and leaves her on her launch. They then remember about the money for the blackmailer, and that was left in a bush, and they look now, it's gone. They missed the blackmailer. Lucky and Nikolas arrive at Liz's house via the window, also scaring the life out of Emily, and they talk about how they did not see the blackmailer.
Nikolas, Emily, Liz, and Lucky break into Tom, the photographer's studio. They are trying to prove that he is not involved in the blackmail scheme. They know he took the picture, and it's now in the studio, that someone else had to have it and be the blackmailer. While the guys examine the contact sheets, Emily does Liz's hair and makeup, and they play dress up in a formal gown. She looks incredibly beautiful. Lucky stops cold when he sees her. Em puts on a waltz and encourages Nik to teach Liz how to dance like he did with her at the ball. Lucky tells Liz to go ahead, but after a few turns, it's obvious he can't stand seeing her in Nik's arms. Lucky dances with her, and they pretend they're in a fairy tale. Sweet moment. While they dance, Nikolas finds the photo the blackmailer used. The gang's back at the Webbers. Nik has taken the contact sheet with the shot that was used. Lucky and Nik head over to Spoon Island. They see a barefoot Laura coming down the stairs. She is wearing a flowing white gown. She had come to have lunch with Nikolas, and she hadn't received his message canceling, so she was stuck on the island due to the storm. She tries to explain, but she looks so guilty. Lucky doesn't believe her and immediately leaves. At the Webbers, Mr. McMurdy drops by explaining that he received Liz's message about her interest in the internship. She convinces him. Yeah, it says McMurdy. I'm like, why am I stumbling over that? That's why. It's just supposed to be Murdy. At the Webbers, Mr. Murdy drops by.
I mean, we use the same name every now and again, but I feel like they would not have done that.
Right. He drops by explaining that he received Liz's message about her interest in the internship. She convinces him to try and get her into downtown Faces. Lucky storms into Laura's house and demands to know if she and Stefan are sleeping together. I'm sorry, Lucky, that is not your business, even with everything else going on. Laura tells him it's none of his business and that he has no right to ask her anything after ignoring her for months. After he insists a son has the right to know who his mother is sleeping with, she informs him that he hasn't been acting like her son. She eventually tells him that she has never been unfaithful to his father. Yeah, I'm sorry, Lucky. I don't think you're entitled to all that. So then Liz goes to GH to get an AIDS test. She doesn't tell Lucky as she doesn't want him to worry. Nik arrives to see Lucky. They talk about Laura and agree not to have the adult drama determine how they're going to relate to each other. Liz and Lucky. We can't use L and L all the time either. Liz and Lucky start their internship at Downtown Faces. They talk beforehand with Nikolas and Emily outside. Someone from the agency notices. A male model comes in, flirts with Liz. Lucky gets jealous and rams the mail cart into him. The next day, when Nikolas and Emily come in, Liz and Lucky pretend not to notice them. And then the girl from the agency notices, rings false with her. The boss comes out. His computer is down. Nikolas and Emily distract him with the enticement of the Cassadine heir being interested in modeling. Lucky sneaks into the office to use his computer. He's well on the way of getting information when disaster strikes. The boss is heading back into the office. Liz, Emily, and Nik go into overdrive, trying to keep him out. The boss walks in, finds Lucky at his computer, but Lucky tap dances out of this sticky situation by fixing the computer's problem. Now he's a hero. He walks out of the office with the boss telling him to come by anytime. Nik now is committed to doing a test shoot and looks like he'd rather be eating glass. Tom, the photographer, is doing everything he can to get him to loosen up, even having Emily be in one of the shots with him. Emily is thrilled when Tom tells Nik to look at her like she's the girl of his dreams. She has it so bad for him. Things are finishing up when Tom's assistant walks in. Emily recognizes her as having worked at the other agency. The assistant tells Tom that she doesn't trust the kids, that they know each other, and that they are setting him up. But he shouts at her to shut up. He holds up a picture of Emily and says, "I'll have her to myself." Lucky and Nik go to the police station to see if they can get info from Fred. He's arrested and had just been fired from the agency. Info on the blackmailer. He tells them that Maggie was tight with Tom, and that clicks for them too. Mr. Jurgen suggests Liz try modeling and has her look at other models' headshots that Tom has done. Tom has talked Emily into a special shoot alone with him. No, that does not sound good. At the studio, Emily sees a nude photo of Nikolas, and Tom tells her she knows too much. Meanwhile, back at the office, Liz sees a photo of Maggie Christian, the other model who was blackmailed, who's now being a waitress, and figures it out. She's desperate to reach the guys, but they are quizzing Fred, so she heads to the studio to warn Em. When she arrives, Tom says to her, not a word, and she realizes he is the one who raped her. Her eyes fill with tears and terror. He grabs her and locks her in the closet with Em, but first is sure to tell her how sweet it was with her that night, confirming that he was the rapist. Ugh. Nik and Lucky arrive, rescue the girls from the closet. Poor Liz is cowering in the corner. She tells him that Tom was the one who raped her. She is shaking with tears in her eyes, just brimming. Oh, Lucky's shaking with tears in his eyes, just brimming for love for her. He asks if Tom raped her again and is relieved when she says no. Em tells Nikolas that Tom had done the nude pictures of him to use for blackmail. And then it says, Stefan would have squashed him like a bug, but then so would have Jason if Em would have gone to him. Tom arrives, pulls a gun on them, and tries to get them into the closet. Lucky refuses, overpowers Tom. Nik joins in. Liz grabs the gun and holds it on him while the others hope she doesn't shoot him. She tells him what a creep he is, and she hopes he will find out about rape in prison. And then there is a music montage as Tom is let off in handcuffs. Back at Lucky's, Liz tells Lucky about encountering Tom and flashing back to the rape. She thanks him for being there to save her. He sheds a single tear. Liz takes a shower to wash the smell of Tom off of her from when he grabbed her. She emerges feeling clean. Liz apologizes to Lucky for not being braver. He tells her how courageous she is, how proud he is of her. He reminds her that she did get through it, that they caught the guy, and that they got him off the streets. They tell each other, "You are the best thing that has ever happened to me." When Liz realizes it's 1 a.m., she tells Lucky it's her birthday and that this is the best present. She feels wonderful, like she has her whole life to look forward to, and they kiss sweetly.
Aww.
I forgot that's how that went down. I'm glad that we went over that. I forgot that was how the rapist came to light.
This is when, there were such good storylines.
This is when the episode ended and you really would be like, no, I need tomorrow's right now. As opposed to, unfortunately, lately where we're like, oh my God, I'm so glad that's over because I can take another minute.
And there were so many details and just, it didn't move as quickly.
Right.
Sometimes I feel like we just zip through things and we need to pay attention to this and this and this.
Right.
So join us on Monday as we recap this week's shows.
Have a good weekend.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review. And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.